Hey guys, Rabbitry here, back with another Starcraft Broodwar remastered laddercast for you today. We have a Protoss versus Terran, and it is Motive who is spawned here in the top right playing Protoss, and he is playing against our Terran who is Scan, who is in the top 10 of the ladder at the moment, playing like an absolute beast, really good. Interestingly that they're speaking to each other in English, even though they are both Korean, but that's cool. He identified him at the beginning of the replay, so the two players are having a chat, which is nice. And if you hadn't already noticed, we are on the becoming infamous Roaring Currents, which is the island map with direct access to your opponent. Lots of fun games have been cast on this map. Lots of interesting nuance around the meta. I've done a TVZ for Roaring Currents. That's the only game I've done on this map thus far of any substance. And we are now doing our first PVT on this map. So, could be a lot of fun. I did a Scan game quite recently where he showed some unbelievable Valkyrie micro in a TVZ, which I really enjoyed. Obviously, the spawns are known in this, so these offensive gas steals are almost normal now. So Terran will know exactly what to do. So yeah, man, it's been fun. As I've said in a couple of recent casts, we've been in the lab figuring out. I think he might get this with CV. Oh, he just gets away and starts to repair him, and now the probe is wanting to get killed. Get him! Oh. So figuring out exactly who the players are, getting a bit more familiar with the ladder pool. Just a big shout out to the guys at seaworld.gg, their Discord, and the creators of the platform where we can download our replays and understand exactly what's happening on the ladder and the professional scene. It's added enormous value to StarCraft, so I'm just very grateful. We have gone with a Nexus first here, which I think on this map is probably quite conducive due to the rush distances and all these fun things, and also because of the gas, offensive gas. We're also doing an offensive gas as Terran because, you know, anything you can do, I can do better, apparently. Probably a little less effective, I was going to say, because you can just mine this gas. But anyway, it's fun nonetheless. So, yeah, that's something I'm shouting out every video because I think these guys just deserve a mention and a lot of our gratitude and appreciation. They do have a Patreon, so if you can support them, please do. And yeah, we have the offensive pylon as well to block the command center, but of course this can just be floated and relanded, so it's not a major disruption. A couple of probes knocking down the refinery as well. The other thing I want to talk about, and where I'm learning a lot of the updated meta and just catching up with the game again, is KCM. So Sandy and Shun are co-commentating the English cast, which is what I watch. It's like a King of the Hill race wars type format. And all the top active Korean pros are playing against each other for prize money, and they come up with all sorts of fun builds and do all sorts of very cool things. It's very entertaining. Great place for you to brush up on any matches where you want to learn and just get a better understanding of the game. My Terran versus Zerg is a match that I'm constantly wanting to get a better understanding of, and there's always some fun games to watch there. So if you aren't already tuning into KCM every week, then I strongly suggest that you do. It's well and truly worth the price of admission, which is free. Yay! That's the beautiful cool thing about YouTube. Alrighty, so our first zealot is arriving, and he's going to walk straight into a bunker and turn around. Okay, so that was exciting. But yeah, so Moto's made a couple of zealots. Usually kind of a reflex, I think. Wow. Okay. So different builds because of this map for sure. We're making a Stargate and a pylon over here, maybe to hide fleet beacon. This could be 2-base carrier, which is fun. Roaring Currents, man, it's going to be producing all sorts of fun builds for us to enjoy, I reckon. Factory on the way, so relatively normal progression from Scan side of things, but Protoss doesn't seem too interested in doing whatever we'd consider to be normal in inverted commas. So here comes a Corsair. Wow, okay. Are we going to do disruption web, or what are we going to do? I want to know. My curiosity glands have been Pete Drobo on the way. Okay, so what exactly is it that a Corsair can do for you in the early game, aside from just provide intel that maybe an observer couldn't, because you'd have to wait a few extra minutes? So he just made an observer to scout. Sorry, a Corsair to scout. So did nobody tell me that the new... maybe he just wanted to scout the starport. So he has made it. Starport is in play. Does send it back, the little scouting Corsair. You can see what's happening. Meanwhile, this pylon, which I thought was going to be where the fleet beacon was hidden, doesn't seem to be the case. We are just on 2-gate observer for all intents and purposes for the time being. Although it looks like we're doing some basic setups for our third. And our little scouting observer Corsair is doing his thing. More Corsairs. I don't understand what's happening. I really don't. Somebody needs to explain this to me, please. I clearly am not clued up. I'm not clued up on what is happening here. The scan just is a little moving shot. I think that SCV is going to have a rough day, though. Does get away. So expanding to a third here is motive. And setting up to expand to a third of his own is scan. Just curious to see where exactly he ends up setting up. Alright, so it drops. So this is the key here, getting shuttles early so that you can drop into the island section of the map. He seems to want to... now we know why. It's to block the expansion. That's really clever. I did not think that... Okay, now to block the block, we make... Cloaked Wraiths versus freaking Corsairs. This is the new PVT meta on Roaring Currents. Wow. Like, it just has its own meta. Well done. So I has floated that away. Gonna pop a couple of units into dropships. What are they? It's a couple of tanks. 4 tanks in total in these 2 dropships. We'll keep an eye on where they're going. In the meantime, it looks like our command center is now going to be landed after all. So the probe that was going to establish this base has been picked off by the Wraiths. And here we're going to do a little bit of a harassment drop. And a Valkyrie. Wow, okay. There's just units you never ever see in this match. Valkyries, Wraiths, dropships. This is insane, man. Absolutely, totally, completely insane. Wow. Will he be able to hit the probe line from there? I think he can, because of the vision that the Valkyrie gives him. Got lots of shuttles coming out though. Some Reavers too. Drop some goons on top of these tanks, and I think that's going to be the end of the harassment. Wow. Entertaining little patch of the game for sure. These 2 workers are kind of fighting with each other. I don't know if either player has realized what's happening here. cancels the command center and runs away. And he gets a kill. Good job, PD the probe. So Scan has established his third, sending a few wraiths out, making some factories. Terran has established, Protoss has established third and a fourth on the way. So the game is transitioning into whatever it is to be normal. I think this might have Reavers in it. It does. Oh wow, that was a juicy scarab. Another very juicy scarab. I think relatively well handled there by Terran. These constant harassments and drops, that's what you got to keep an eye on this map. And yeah, you got to know what you're doing in terms of tracking where everybody's doing what. More drops on the way. Probably just to pop in a few reinforcing units here. And yeah, the lost SCVs. She did definitely lose a few there from that harassment. So what do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 gateways. We have a Stargate. We have a Forge running. We don't have any Templar tech like Citadel, stuff like that. So Zealots are not showing themselves to be too relevant in this game. The Templar tech tree in general doesn't seem to be very useful. So Arbiters are not the kabubble. It seems to be shuttles. So it's Robotech with ground unit support, Dragoons, a little bit of air support here and there. And Terran seems to be making a mix of Wraiths, Valkyries, and some factory units, and some dropships. Obviously dropships are a big part of the equation as well. And this is the new meta we need to adjust to. Roaring Current has its own meta. I like the observer placement, but he's making a pylon here. It's a spot. It's good. Let's keep an eye on when Terran wants to take that base. I think it's good up. Picks up that probe again. So this is just to block that drop harassment that scanned it earlier. It looks like we're going to set up an attack on the ground. I guess we're just getting in position. Another base coming in here. This was again would have had to been dropped in to place this base. And Protoss is able, quite comfortably it seems, to just progress with their plan in this match. Random Valkyrie kind of flying around here to see something. Stops here. Okay, just wanted to, I guess, confirm the space, which he now has. Is he just gonna attack in here? This doesn't seem like a very good idea. I don't think the idea is to attack in here. I think the idea was to deny the base. So Scan, having scanned, well, spotted it with the Valkyrie, does the drop to deny the space, and I don't think Motive is going to try and contest. He's going to do his own drop, which is a storm drop, killing all the SCVs. Well, not all of them, but a fair chunk of them. And there is nothing left here to assist the Terran brethren, so he's going to lose this position. So base trade for a base trade. Motive's brought his army down here to try and deny Terran taking this position. So this base has been taken, however, Protoss has taken the space of the Terran. So basically a base for a base. And we're kind of in the same place as we were before. And now this is kind of what we're more used to seeing. It's a bit of a late siege up here. Quite a few of the tanks are clumped up together, and the double storms there have made these tanks pretty red, and he does a fairly decent trade, I would say. He's only got about 5 tanks left over. But I don't think it's going to be enough to deny. So he's not trying to take this, he's actually trying to take this position. And get up to this bridge point, which is kind of where the map splits in half. At least from a ground access perspective. So it has sent a few raids to tidy up the remaining forces here, and this command center will manage to get re-established. Meanwhile, some drops and other big attacks here on the tanks, Goliaths, and Vultures. And I think this has gone really nicely for Scan. Supplies are now even. He's managed to push back his Protoss opponent and establish this base, and I think he's going to manage to re-establish this one, and our Protoss has got no current access or opportunity to re-establish this lost base here on the top left. So overall, that exchange definitely gone in our Terran's favor. It's like random little island maps here. So another little island map set up. So I think he's kind of abandoned this one and rather replaced it with this one. And suddenly the tank supply from our Terran is looking rather scary. Uh-oh. Nice storm drops. Very decent, and this was just an harassment attempt. Let's pick up a few. Yeah, picks up a decent number of ACVs. He had 58 at the point at Scan. He's now down to 44, so decent econ harass at this stage, but I think we're at a stage of the game where econ harassment is not really all that impactful. There's a lot of command centers. There's just a big army in general that Scan has. Now I don't know how capable Protoss would be of just defending its bases. So our wraiths are up and about, moving, doing things. Yeah, and as we move forward as our Terran, we can easily expand behind the positions we're taking, which I think would be the plan here. It has got this up and running. And got the rest of his army kind of a little bit split apart. So this position is pretty vulnerable. I don't know how dropping Reavers helps you. You need a few more cannons for sure. This harassment is helpful from Scan because it means units that can be part of the main army are pulled away to defend here. And then I think he can just push in with a giant mech ball and destroy these 3 bases, which is just gonna be GG. Is it that simple? Can it be? It does kind of feel like that. More drops. Only cannons here, so in for a lot of pain. Storm. Another storm. Oh wow, I did that very nicely with storm drops. That was good. Meanwhile, nothing here shoots up. Picking off a few Reavers for free. Picking off another shuttle. So these wraiths are definitely paying for themselves. I don't see how attacking in here is going to go well. Although the mine placement is not working in Terran's favor at all. They dragged a fair few mines, lost a few tanks just with a couple of easy zealot drops. Chooses not to engage. I think that's the right call. Trying to pull his. Where are you going, probes? Wait. Where are you going, probes? I don't understand. He's freeing up supply? Okay. Obviously decided that 60 is enough. Well, those didn't work. Couple more probes storming the front line here. The bravest probes you've ever seen. That was another nice mine drag. Mine's definitely not helping scan here. I would have thought that this force would have been somewhat insurmountable, but it's pretty split up, so not too much of the main force was actually sitting here on the bridge. His reinforcements are coming in pretty thick and fast though. And yeah, that's gonna be tidied up pretty quick. Let's drop some Goliaths here and just kind of left them. They're chilling. I think Scan's gonna keep going, potentially try and knock down this base. I think once you cross this bridge as Terran, the game starts to look pretty good for you. Let's drop a High Templar. Storms. Storms again. 3 storms in one. Oh, it could have been 2 High Templars, I don't know. Not a lot of vultures with the army. Like, a lot of the vultures in general. We are making carriers, by the way. So this game is going to get a new dynamic pretty soon. 1, 2, 3 carriers in production. Carriers, High Templars, Zealots. Definitely interesting mix. So basically the fact that it's just tank Goliath means that the ground units of Protoss are going to fare a lot better than they otherwise would, because vultures really do change the balance, especially if it's a heavy zealot composition. But Protoss isn't making many zealots. He needs mineral income to make this carrier idea work. He's got 1, 2 mineral bases only. So this is going to be quite an expensive endeavor. Get these carriers up and running and in the game. And he's not going to be able to hide them too long. Another decent couple of storms, picking off a few tanks. Reavers coming onto the high ground. Picks off good tanks. I mean, some of these little micro battles between these two have been very, very decent. His use of storm has been excellent. Picks up another couple of tanks. So definitely shredding through the tank numbers. Putting some Reavers on the high ground, which are notoriously hard to break. More storms coming through, more Reavers coming through. And we've got 3 carriers. And that seems to be it. We have dropped some units here, just to make sure that this base is denied. Very patient game from Scan. He's got plenty of money. Like, he's got a mining base here, 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 here. Well, establishing this one here. He's in a very, very strong position. It's definitely up to Protoss to destroy and take bases, as opposed to Terran needing to make the running. So this nice combination of Storm, Carrier, again, a very a very Roaring Currents-esque meta for sure. Okay, so Scan seems keen to cross the bridge once again. Lots of Archons here, which is just the remainders of Templars who ran out of energy. And it ends up storming nothing. Has queued up some more carriers. And so Scan is making a Wraith, another command center in the top left, 4 tanks and 4 Goliaths. This is by no means a critical mass of carriers though, and I don't think he has the mineral income to keep remaking the interceptors. And so I think our Protoss is slowly bleeding to death, yeah. Especially considering that this top left position has been taken. So now wants to send the carriers out to oh no! Both Reavers went down. I don't think he even had any money for interceptors. He was too busy microing his carriers. Does drop the Reavers here as well, and does lose a bit. But I think this Nexus is going to go down. It's not a valuable target in the sense that there's no money. I mean, the place to target is probably here, but that's it. That is what I've just shown you there, and this. The last income from our Protoss, where our Terran has still got a decent amount. Got this, this, and this. I think that's going to be the difference. And a nice critical mass of Goliaths to counter these carriers. Alright, his attempt to take down this newest source of income. Wow. That was how to watch a Valkyrie evaporate 101. Wraiths are coming into the equation here. There are observers with this. 2 Wraiths against Corsairs. Not something you see that often, but I'm hearing the dead carrier noise a lot. Like a lot. Oh no. Oh mate, the absolute death blow. A very convincing win there by Scan. I think Roaring Currents definitely has a meta on its own. You've got to adjust and figure out what the frick is happening, but it was a lot of fun. So thanks for sticking with me. If you watched until the end, I really do appreciate it. I'll be back again with more content very soon. Until next time, you take it easy. See you soon.